M&Ms is doing away with their infamous talking characters. In an announcement made on Twitter this morning, the company said their Spokescandies, I didn't know they were called that, will be temporarily discontinued and replaced with someone, quote, America can agree on. Actress and comedian Maya Rudolph, quote, "We are confident Ms. Rudolph will champion the power of fun to create a world where everyone feels like they belong." Batya, what do we think? Did we just witness the canceling of the sexy M&Ms, or maybe the unsexy M&Ms, right? That's what I believe Tucker Carlson, our dear friend, was upset about.
Yes, it was the canceling of the sneaker-clad M&M.
Right.
I love that Brianna last week pointed out, there's no shame in admitting that some people just don't have the legs to be walking around in sneakers. I have to say, I think that there's this the way they're phrasing it, right, to create a world where everyone feels like they belong. That was how they phrased correcting the, quote, woke correction, right? So you started out with sexy M&M with high heels, right? Then they were like, no more high heels. Sexy is verboten. We must live in a world where no one is sexy. Sneakers for everybody, right? So then she was in sneakers, right? And this is now, they're trying to correct for that. Am I understanding the timeline correctly? That's what happened, right?
Yes.
And the way they're framing canceling sneakers Spokescandy is, we want a world where everyone feels like they belong. And to me, that is really, it's sort of, they accidentally are admitting the problem with woke culture, which is that in the name of inclusivity, they've made some people feel excluded. No? I mean, isn't that sort of, didn't they kind of put their finger on the truth accidentally, which is that this kind of, quote unquote, more inclusive world in which if you have the right politics, you will see yourself now in TV and film and whatever. They're sort of tacitly admitting that there has been a little bit of an exclusion, though, of the mainstream in the name of that crusade, no?
Well, they didn't notice that they did not add a sneaker-clad M&M. They changed one of their existing M&Ms. And yes, we're talking about this. It's okay. We've talked about a bunch of other important things before anyone goes, why do you care so much? Why are you talking about this? Because we like to have fun every now and then. But anyway, they changed one of the M&Ms to be sneaker-clad to defeminize the M&M or something, which I think that's what the people objected to. It's perfectly okay to have a less feminine M&M, but the idea that the stereotypically pretty or whatever is not acceptable, how is that inclusive? Does inclusive just mean everyone similarly uninteresting, ambiguous, etc.? Is that really more inclusive? And sometimes the wokeness feels like a cudgel by which we're erasing others in pursuit of making a different group happy. And I think that's what angered people about this whole thing. A situation that I don't think is improved or resolved whatsoever by getting rid of all of them and replacing them with Maya Rudolph. As much as I have enjoyed her comedy in several different things, this seems like, well, also this seems just frankly unnecessary. Like, who is in the comms and PR department for the M&Ms makers that they're so online that they're very worried about this? I mean, just own what you're doing or undo it. Don't be broadcasting to all of Twitter how much Tucker Carlson is living rent free inside your head, I guess.
Now, did they take away her eye? She used to have eyelashes and high heels, right? Did they take away the eyelashes
Rudolph
as well?
Or the M&M?
No, the M&M, the sexy M&M. Was that part of the?
I'm gonna Google this, and Lord have mercy, what we find.
Because I do think that these things are very interesting because they sort of give you a sense of, culture wars are often, as I've made the argument here many times, they're often sort of code for class wars, right? And what we often see on the sort of woke front is a war on normiedom, right? And a war on just how normal people think about things, right? Mm-hmm. That you wear high heels, you wear eyelashes, you look sexy, and that's totally fine for some people to do that. Other people want to wear sneakers, other people want to be more in the, and that's totally fine too. And there's this sense that the culture has moved to a place where the two options are made very, very clear. And you really, in moments like this, you really get a sense of like where people are moving, and the sense of, a right wing that's kind of flexing its power, but not in a way that's sort of necessarily regressive, just in a way that's kind of seems sort of like, to me, like very obvious, right? I mean, that again, coming back to it, just seems like, we want to create a world where everyone feels like they belong. Is kind of to tacitly admit that they had not been doing that thus far. And I guess it remains a question of, was it not inclusive when they had the high heels one, or was it not inclusive when they got rid of her for the sneakers girl?
Yeah, I'm looking at the old M&Ms lineup and then the new wokeified M&Ms lineup, and they all look pretty much the same, except they changed the high-heeled boots on the green M&M. So it's like, why is it more inclusive? Now they all look the same. They look more the same than they did before. So it doesn't make any sense to me. I stopped paying attention to the M&M characters. I remember don't you remember the commercials right around Christmas time? The red and yellow M&Ms are always getting into trouble. I don't actually remember the other M&M characters participating very much in the advertisements.
But I will say another point that comes up with this with Maya Rudolph is, celebrities used to be like, I remember a time when they were not political. Like, you didn't really know except for like Jane Fonda or somebody who sort of came out in a very political way for a cause. Their job was to be beautiful on your screen and pretend to be other people, and that was it. And now with social media, you have all of these celebrities who think that it's their job to weigh in on the culture wars, and that is going to have a huge impact on brand ambassadorships, on things exactly like this, having celebrities be the face of a brand, because increasingly they have beclowned themselves by taking really silly political positions. And up until now, I think it's been, for the last 5 years at least, throughout the Great Awakening, it's been understood that, it's sort of safe to take a leftist liberal position politically. Like, that's where you want to go. If you take a right-wing position like Gina Serrano did, you're going to get canceled, right? But I think that we're maybe starting to, that there's going to be like a real backlash to that, right? I mean, how did they pick Maya Rudolph, right? How did she become the face of inclusivity? Is that really something that is, how many more celebrities can we say that about, that really everybody loves them? And when they do, it's because someone like Tom Hanks, let's say, right? It's because they haven't taken political positions, because they're not identified with either the left or the right. I think we really living through the end of celebrity, like the influencer movement is really the death of celebrity, because on the one hand, it's you have much more people who are sort of, internet famous, but on the other hand, the thing that they're famous for is so quotidian and so pedestrian and so something anybody could achieve, right? Growing an audience on social media, I mean, like, how hard is that, right? So it's really sort of brought celebrity, like the aura of celebrity, I feel like over the last 5 years has just like evaporated. And, it's going to be interesting to follow how marketing changes as a result of that.
That's very interesting. Interesting points. All right, Batya, now that we've delivered that hard-hitting report on the M&Ms, we will be back with more Rising after this.